welcome to the girl group version of the boy group tier thing that I did previously. As you can see, I have edited the tier spots with different names, and I am also using a different tier made by this person called Instant K-pop on the same website as the boy group one. As you can see just from scrolling, there is many more girl groups on this than there were boy groups on my list, and originally I thought that would be an issue, but I think just by looking at them that this will go more quickly than the boy group one, simply because in the past I was mainly a boy group stan. It wasn't until shortly before COVID happened that I kind of got into girl groups. They are phenomenal, but again, a lot of these groups I either haven't checked out, they're too old for me to have gotten into them, or I just, haven't checked them out yet. So let me, with that being said, let me get into the tiers. But before that, I guess, let me mention that this is not scripted. This is just me, blabbing stuff off the top of my head. I'm going to try to be short because, like I said, some of these groups I don't know, or I know very little about, but now onto the tiers. The first one is obviously alts, pretty self-explanatory. Next is I Stan Them, also kind of self-explanatory. I like some of their music. This is for groups that I might not necessarily like all of their music, but I probably have seen all of it or listened to all of it. And when I say that, I'm mainly mean title tracks. Next one is Disbanded But Not Forgotten, because a lot of the girl groups that I, alted or stand, some of them have disbanded, unfortunately. Next up is Don't Know Them, which is also kind of self-explanatory. Those might be groups that I want to get to know, or I might not want to get to know. I might specify when that comes, when a group goes into that category, but I might not, depending on the time. And then lastly is Not My Type. Also kind of self-explanatory. That would be the furthest down, and a group that I probably either won't check out or have checked out and are just not my thing. So again, with that being said, let's get started. First up, we have 15 and I'm not sure if they're disbanded or not, because Jamie's no longer under JYP, but I'm going to put them into Disbanded But Not Forgotten. But I don't know, this category, these tiers are kind of ambiguous down at the bottom, because even though they're Disbanded But Not Forgotten, I think I maybe know one song by them. I'm more of a fan of Jamie's solo work, and I don't even know if I could tell you, is the other girl's name Yeren or Yerim or something like that? Beckia? I don't know. I don't know if I could tell you her name, but they are not forgotten. I still listen to Jamie's stuff. Moving on to 2NE1 or 21. I was actually into a few of their releases. I'm still into CL's solo releases, but they are disbanded, so they are also going into Disbanded But Not Forgotten. Next up, we have Third Eye. I like most of their music. There's been a couple that I've not jammed to, but I do really like most of their releases, so I'm going to put them into the I like some of their music tier. Next up is 4 Minute. They are also disbanded but not forgotten. I really did like a lot of their releases, but more so near the end of their career, and I am still a Hyuna fan, so gotta put them there. Next up is Nine Muses. I was really a big fan of their later work, but unfortunately they are also disbanded, but also not forgotten. Next up we have aespa, and I'm going to put them into I like some of their music. I really liked Black Mamba, but I haven't been a fan of their music after that, except for, what was their most recent song? It wasn't a song, I guess, like a title track. Give me a few seconds to look it up. Illusion. I really liked Illusion. I wanted to like Girls a lot, but I wasn't it's just like a song that I would listen to randomly. I don't think I would go out of my way to listen to that. I do like a couple of their B-sides, and I am looking forward to their comeback that's coming up, because I feel like that'll really determine whether they move up to I Stand Them or not. Next up we have After School. I really like their song First Love, but other than that, I don't really know them. And I do know Nana, I think, and a couple of the other girls, but I'm a fan of her as an actress. So unfortunately, I'm going to put them into Don't Know Them, other than First Love, which was just phenomenal. Next up, we have ANS. I'm pretty sure that they're disbanded because they became majors, or some of the members became majors. I'm going to put them into Not My Type, even though they are disbanded, because even when they were a group, I wasn't really a fan of their releases. I kind of prefer majors releases over theirs. Next up we have AOA. I liked some of their music, but I also didn't. So I think I'm going to put them into disbanded but not forgotten, since I believe they have disbanded last I remember because of all the drama. But anyways, if they haven't, please correct me in the comments. Next up we have A-Pink, and I'm going to put them into I like some of their music. I believe is how it's pronounced, was just beautiful, and I've liked a couple of their songs after that. I just feel like they don't come back as often as I would like. So if they start doing it, coming back more often, I know they're older, but they would move up into I Stand Them. Next up is April. I'm going to put them into I'm going to say I don't know them, because I don't know if I've ever listened to a full song by them. Next up we have, I have no idea how to pronounce this, but I have checked out, I think, their debut. I'm going to put them into I don't know them. They might have disbanded, not entirely sure. Next up is Very Good, and I like some of their music, but they are disbanded. So, I don't know, I should probably put them down there. Next up we have Bestie. I'm going to put them into I don't know them, because they are kind of before the time that I got into K-pop. Next up is Billy. I'm going to put them into I like some of their music. I wasn't really a super fan of their debut, but I have liked their follow-up songs, and I'm hoping they continue to draw me in. I definitely wanted to check them out, though, because of Sua, which is Moonbin from Astro's sister. I have followed her since pre-debut, and I was so glad when she did finally debut, and I hope that they, blow up even bigger than they already are. Next up we have Blackpink. I'm going to put them into I like some of their music. They simply don't come back enough, which is not their fault at all. It's definitely YG, but they don't come back enough for me to move them up into I Stand Them. Next up we have Black Swan. I would have put them up into I'm gonna have to put them into I like some of their music, but with all the drama that's going on with the group and the constant change of members, I was really a big fan of Rania, or in BP Rania. Please forgive me if I'm pronouncing their group name wrong. I was really a fan of them around the Demonstrate era, and was so upset when they, ultimately disbanded, I guess, again, but then they became Black Swan, which that whole group's just a complete mess, and then they have even more drama as Black Swan, but despite that, I have liked some of their music. I didn't like their most recent one. I feel like the quality went a little downhill, which, with all the member changes and stuff, it's not really surprising. Next up is Bling Bling. I'm pretty sure that they disbanded, and I did like their debut, and I liked whatever song they had on a pirate ship. I liked that as well. Next up is Bowl 4. I feel like they may have disbanded as well, but I'm going to put them into Don't Know Them. That is kind of a lie, because I have checked out a couple of their songs, and there is one song that I did really like, but I could not name that off the top of my head, so that is why I'm also going to put them into Don't Know Them. Next up is Bodo Pass. Again, if I'm mispronouncing this, I'm so sorry. I have checked out their debut, but wasn't really a fan, so I'm going to put them into Not My Type. Next up is Brave Girls. I am so upset that they're disbanded. They are also a group that's had a pretty rough start to finish, and I'm glad that they at least got to experience a little bit more attention near the end of their career. Next up is Brown Eyed Girls. They're going into Don't Know Them. I think Gayan Gain. I like her solo releases more than the group releases. Next up is Bugaboo, and oh my god, their disbandment freaking killed me. I was obsessed with their debut. I was just like, I loved the music video style. I loved the song. It felt unique, and they didn't give us that same style in the second comeback, which was kind of disappointing, but even then it wasn't a terrible song. And then to hear that they disbanded was, just the nail in the coffin. They would have been up here and I stand them, but because they're disbanded, they are down here. Is this Busters? I don't know them, have heard of them before, but I never have checked them out. Bandit. This is another group like Bugaboo that they would have been in I Stand Them. Then they went on that long ass hiatus, I guess is what that was, where either their company didn't promote them or forgot about them. Typical, with smaller groups. But I was obsessed with everything that they had. But unfortunately, they have also disbanded, which is just terrible. Next up is Camilla. I definitely have checked out music by them, but I guess I don't know them since I cannot name a single member or a song by them. I'm gonna have to zoom in on this one. Oh, Celeb 5. Straight over into Not My Type. I actually have never heard anything by them. I can't say I don't know them though, because I have heard of them. I have seen them on shows. Moving on to Cherry Bullet, alts. That's all I'm gonna say. I just need FNC to, give them some more music more often and to stop sleeping on them. I wasn't a huge fan of their most recent song, but I'll take what I can get at this point, because we rarely get anything. Next up is Signature. I'm going to put them into I like some of their music. Again, I think this company is sleeping on them. They have had some really good songs, and then they've had some songs that I feel like are very mellow, and I just don't feel like the company promotes those songs. And when I say mellow, it's still a good song. It's just not a song that I feel like the company wants to promote. Oh my gosh, CLC, they were my alts of alts, but unfortunately they have also disbanded. Please support Eugen and Kepler, and Sword in her solo career. And my ultimate female bias was Sungyeon. If I pronounced her name wrong, I'm horrible at the Korean pronunciation of things, but I love that girl. She was such a phenomenal dancer, and, fuck Cube. But, anyways, next up is Craxy, I think is how you pronounce it. I just watched their music video for Nugadum. Unfortunately, I think I've only liked one song by them, so I'm going to put them into Not My Type. Next up is Crayon Pop. I'm going to put them into Don't Know Them, however I do know them, and I really liked one of their songs, but I can't think of it off the top of my head, but they aren't really my style, so don't know them. Next up is Deholic. They are again, sorry I kind of mumbled there, they are again before the time that I was into girl groups, so unfortunately they're going into Don't Know Them. Thou Shall Bet is also going into Don't Know Them. I have checked out their music, but nothing more. I couldn't name a song off the top of my head. I do like Dal Subin's solo work a lot, so I know her at the very least, but I only know her because of her solo work. Next up we have Davichi. I think they're a soul or a ballad group possibly, but unfortunately I don't know more than that, and I probably am wrong about that. Next up is Daya, I think. Don't know them, sorry. Next up is Dreamcatcher, going up into I Stand Them. I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with them, but at the end of the day I still stand them. I love their music, but sometimes I feel like it gets a bit repetitive, especially more recently. And I don't know why, because I don't feel like the songs sound the same, but at the same time I do. But anyways, moving on, Dream Note. I really liked their creepy horror song. I think it was called Ghost, it was beautiful, but that's about the only song I liked by them. But I don't feel like they disbanded, so I like some of their music. Next up is Elvis, which I believe that their name changed recently, to Alice. And I hope to see them around more. But for now, I don't know them. Next up is Everglow. They're going right up into alts. I need the company to stop sleeping on them and to give them a freaking comeback already. Like, it's been forever. I know that, was it Eden? Was in China for a little bit, and people were worried that she was going to leave the group or something like that. But I think she's back in Korea now, so, like, I need the company to give us a comeback pronto. Next up is EXID. Their most recent comeback was a little bit disappointing due to the quality, but because of how much I've liked their past work, I'm going to put them into I Stand Them. And I also watch a lot of Hani's dramas and stuff as well. Next up is Fanatics. I feel like they might have disbanded, but actually I only know like 1 or 2 songs by them and I couldn't name them, so don't know them. Oh my gosh. I have no idea what that group is. So, let me look that up. Okay. After looking it up, apparently this is Favorites logo. There was one song by them, I think it was Loco or Loca. Oh my god, I was obsessed with that when I first got into girl groups, but unfortunately, I don't even know if this group's disbanded or not, because I haven't heard from them. I think I heard the song after Loca, or Loco, whichever it was. I think it was Loca. I heard that song, it sounded okay, it wasn't as good as Loca, but I don't think I've heard of them since. But I will be putting them into the I like some of their music category. Next up is Feestar. I've never known how to pronounce their name. I've only liked one song by them, but I believe that they are disbanded. So they are going into disbanded but not forgotten. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this one. I feel like it might have been an SM group, but I don't know them. Next up is Promise 9. Promise 9, I believe is how it's pronounced. I like some of their music. I like DK or Dugan the most. Next up is FX. I actually wasn't really a big fan of any of their music when they were around, even though they are disbanded, but unfortunately I'm going to put them into Not My Type. Next up is Grayish. I've heard a couple of their songs, but unfortunately I'm going to put them into the Don't Know Them category. Next up is G-Friend. They are disbanded but not forgotten. However, I only liked a couple of their songs, so I'm going to put them into Not My Type. Next up we have G-Idol or Yoja Idol. They're going up into, if I can scroll up, alts, because they are just phenomenal. There are a couple songs by them that I don't love. However, I love all the members. I know all of them. And I just think they're extremely talented. Next up we have Girlkind. I know I've heard a couple songs by them, but unfortunately I don't know them. Oh my gosh, this is another group where I just have no idea who they are. Is it Girls' Day? It has to be Girls' Day, right? I'm just gonna say it's Girls' Day, so I don't have to waste time looking them up. Please correct me in the comments if I am wrong. But yeah, Girls' Day, I really have enjoyed a couple of their songs, so I will put them into I like some of their music. Well, they are disbanded though, correct? I guess I'll put them in disbanded, but please again correct me on that if I'm wrong. Next up is Girls' Generation, or I love them, but I also don't like some of their songs, but I like some of their music, so that's it. Got the Beat. Unfortunately, I'm kind of really disappointed with their music. It's not bad. I just expected more with the members. but even then I'll put them in I like some of their music. I was expecting that they would be up here in the alt category, but again, I've not been that impressed with their music. Next up is Goo Goo Dolls. I loved Not My Type by them and a couple of their other earlier music, but they are disbanded. I really like Sejong as an actress, so I still follow her work and stuff. Next up is GWSN. I haven't been a big fan of their work, so not my type. I did like one song by them, but again, I cannot tell you what the name is. Next up is High Key. I like some of their music. I like their most recent song, and I like it was like Athletic Girl. I like that one as well. Oh my god, what is this one? I'm so sorry, guys. Like, maybe I'll just leave those ones for the end and just keep going. Next up is Hello Venus. I think they're disbanded. I know they're under Astro's company, Fantagio, I think is how you say it, but I feel like they might not be disbanded, just like on a long-ass hiatus, but we're putting them into disbanded but not forgotten. Next up is High L. I like some of their music, but unfortunately I'm putting them in the don't know them category. Next up is Hinapia, short-lived bosses, disbanded but not forgotten. Next up is Hot Issue. I loved them as well, but they are also short-lived queens, so disbanded but not forgotten. Oh my god, is this Mamamoo? No, wait, we're not even in the M's. Who is that? Anyways, we'll skip that one too to look up at the end. Next up is I Chillin'. They're okay. I did like their most recent song, but unfortunately I'm going to put them into Don't Know Them. Next up is I Love You 1 or ILY 1. Their first music video was beautiful, but I wasn't really a fan of the second one, so don't know them. IOI, disbanded queens. What more can I say? ITZY, I'm going into I like some of their music. I really like their debut Dala Dala, but I haven't really been like a huge fan of their music since, so that's not that they're bad, it's just not, my thing. Next up is IVE. I'm putting them up into, just pause for a second because this is getting a little too big. I'm putting them into I Stand Them. They have potential to move up to alts, but after this third comeback, they might change. Next up is IZ*ONE. Disbanded queens again, of course. I wish they were still around. They never made a bad song. Next up is Jewelry. Again, I don't know them. Next up is Kara. Disbanded but not forgotten. Actually, Jewelry might also be disbanded, but again, I didn't know them. Kara had some good music, and they recently just had a comeback, so are they disbanded? Put them until I like some of their music. Kimbo, I don't know them. Kepler, I was expecting more from them. I really like Hee, I think is how you pronounce her name. Huening Kai's sister. I really like her, and of course Yujin from CLC's in there. I liked their debut, but it wasn't like impressing. Like, I felt like it was just normal, but I did like it, but I haven't liked anything as much since. It's kind of a disappointment. I was expecting more from a group because IZ*ONE and IOI just had some really good music. Next up is Khan. They are disbanded. And I think they only had one song, but it was really good. Next up is LaBomb. Please, again, correct me with my pronunciation. I love them, but they haven't been able to come back. I do not think that they're disbanded. I know some members recently left, but I don't think they're disbanded, so I like some of their music. Next up is Ladies Code. I like some of their music. I don't think they're disbanded. If they are, please again tell me. Next up is Leisha. I don't know them. Next up is La Seraphim. I like some of their music. They have potential to move up into I Stand Them as well, but again, they only have 2 songs. So next up is Lightsome. Again, this is a Cube group, and I think Cube is thinking that by debuting another group, because they have been successful with Idol, that they were gonna be huge, but again, I don't know. They're just not the best at promoting their groups. I feel like they can only promote one group well at a time, and right now and forever since their debut, it's been Idol. Um, Lightsum's logo though is really pretty. It reminds me of like Powerpuff Girls. I'll put them into I like some of their music because they had one song that I listened to like on repeat for a while. Don't ask me what the name of that song is though. Next up is Lime Soda. I have listened to them, but I don't know them. Next up is Luna. Unfortunately, I don't think it's officially been announced that they're disbanded, but like all the members have left, correct? I know some of them are still in a battle. I'll put them into disbanded but not forgotten, but I still feel like there is a chance that the members of the group will stick together, and I don't know if all of them will, but I still feel like there's a chance that they will continue with that. Will they still be able to use the name Luna? I feel like there's a low chance of that, considering the company is fighting against them, so I feel like there's just probably no way that they'll be able to take the rights to their name. Um, Next up is Lovelies. I've heard some of their music, but I don't really know them. Lunar Solar, they're going right here for just a second until I can move them up into I like some of their music. Majors is also going up into I like some of their music. Mama Doll, I feel like they might have only been a group just to release one song, but I liked that song. So they're going up into there. Mamamoo, just for a second. I like some of their music. I haven't really liked, their more recent releases, and as much as I want to be a fan of Mamamoo Plus, the subunit of Solar and Mule, I just haven't been as big of a fan. I do really like Solar's solo work, and I like Kwas's solo work. Wien releases some good music as well. I haven't been as big of a fan of Moonbill's music, but again, I still like them. Next up is Matilda. I feel like they are disbanded, but I don't know them. Melody Day, I think they are disbanded, but I also don't know them. Minx, I believe, aren't they Dreamcatcher? Wasn't that Dreamcatcher's name before? Well, I don't understand why they're both on here. But I'll put them into don't know them because I did not check out Dreamcatcher before they were Dreamcatcher. Next up is Miss A. They weren't my type. Momoland's disbanded but not forgotten. Nature, I love their song Girls, but that's, and then another song, a couple of songs before Girls, but I did not like their most recent one. But again, I still liked a lot of their music. Neon Punch, I believe they're disbanded but not forgotten. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Next up is Inmix. I'm going to put them into I like some of their music. I'm not a fan of at all of the switch ups, and I was so happy that Love Me Like This did not have that, and that's probably the reason why it's my favorite of their songs. Next up is Oh My Girl. They're going into I Stand Them. I really liked Nonstop the most, and then I liked Closer as well, and then whatever song they're chasing Gong Chan from, I think, B1A4 around. I can't remember the name of that, but it's one of my top 3 songs by them. Next up is Orange Caramel. They weren't really my type, but I believe they're a subunit of, oh shoot. Aren't they a subunit of, oh my god, After School. Yeah, I think they're a subunit of After School. Next up we have Pink Fantasy. I like some of their music, but a lot of their music's just not my type. Pixie. Oh my god. Hold on. Alts. And I feel like they're probably going to disband soon. The members are leaving left and right. I feel like the music video quality went down just a little bit with their most recent one, Karma, but I absolutely loved it despite that, and I really hope that I'm wrong about them going to disband. But anyways, Moving on to playback, I think they're short-lived queens as well, but I'm going to put them into Don't Know Them. I think they had a song that was called Playback, and it was okay. But again, I think that was also around the time they disbanded as well. Priston, I absolutely loved them. Was heartbroken when they disbanded. Priston V or Priston 5, whichever the pronunciation of it was like my all-time favorite subunit for a girl group. But yeah. Next up we have Purple Kiss. Going straight up into my alts, their most recent song was phenomenal, and I haven't disliked a song by them yet. Next up is Purpleback. I'm going to put them into Don't Know Them. I have listened to a couple of songs though. Rainbow is going into Don't Know Them. Rania, again, I'm going to consider them disbanded since Black Swan is like the new them, I guess. Disbanded but not forgotten, I do really like them. Red Velvet is going up into alts. I really need them to release a song again, like pronto. Okay, next up we have Rocket Punch. I'm actually kind of shocked because I feel like they haven't had a comeback in a while, but hold on just a second. They're going into I like some of their music. I hope that they have a comeback soon. Seeing their name actually reminded me that I don't feel like they've had a comeback recently, which is kind of shocking when considering they're under Ulam. But next up is Rocking Doll. I think they're a newer group, correct? I think. I'm going to put them into Don't Know Them, but I have definitely heard a couple of their songs. Next up is Rolling Quartz. Are they an actual group? Because I feel like they've only released one official song, and then they've just covered other songs. But I'll put them into Don't Know Them, because even though I do know their debut and thought it was good, I don't know much more about them than that. Next up is Saturday. I actually don't know if they're still a group. I believe this is the group that did like Wi-Fi. I absolutely love that song, but I'm going to put them into Disbanded but Not Forgotten in case they are disbanded. Next up is Secret Number. I really loved their debut, but in the song that followed after that, I think, but unfortunately I haven't been like a fan of their more recent songs, but that being said, I would still listen to their debut, and I think the follow-up song to that. Next up we have Secret. I didn't know them before my time. Same with SES. I do like the song that aespa recently covered, or did a remake of. That was like about the only song of SES that I did know before, and it's the only song by them that I love. And I think aespa did a really good job of remaking that song. Next up is SAS. I actually have no idea. I could not name a single song by them. Next up is Sistar. I wasn't really a fan of their music at all. However, I did like a couple of Sistar 19's work. I feel like the one that I'm thinking of is with a really long title, and that is the reason why I cannot remember the name of it. But I really like Hyolin's solo work a lot, so if it was just her name, she would be up into the all category. Next up is Skylay. I have heard a couple songs by them, but I'm going to put them into Don't Know Them. Sonamu, short-lived queens. They weren't really that short-lived, but the company, aka TS Shit Entertainment, unfortunately disbanded but not forgotten. Spica. I have heard a couple songs by them, but they were again before the time I got into girl groups. Don't know them. I'm pretty sure they are also disbanded. Next up is Stacy. I like some of their music, however I haven't been a fan of their two most recent songs. But I did love their debut, which was So Bad. Love it. And I'm not saying the song was so bad, it was called So Bad, I'm pretty sure. Please correct me if I'm wrong though. Next up is Stellar, the Forced to Be Sexy Queens. They weren't really my type, and I honestly don't think I was their target audience in the first place. They still had good music, but I felt like again, they were overly sexualized, and they spoke up on that after they were, disbanded. Next up is Tiara. I don't know them. Again, they were before the time I was into K-pop. Next up is Tahiti. They weren't, I want to say they weren't really my type, but I can't really remember. I know I heard the name, and I know I've heard at least one song by them, so I don't know them. The Arc was short-lived. Queens, disbanded but not forgotten. Tribe, or Tribe, I feel like it's Tribe. Hold on just a second. I'm so sorry, this list is so long. I like some of their music. Next up is Twice. Give me just a second. We're going to have to move them up category by category. I like some of their music. I feel like I dislike more of their music than I like their music. However, the music that I do like by them is, fire. I liked more of their cutesy concept songs more than their more recent ones. However, I cannot remember the name of it now, but there was a lot of yellow in it, and they were like in a train station. That's my favorite song by them, and it sounds terrible that I don't know the name of it, but moving on. Next up we have Unity. They're disbanded. I really liked the songs though that they did release. They got the short end of the stick, and I feel like they had like 2 songs, so I don't even know why the show, the unit, I think is what it was called, even wasted their time doing that if they were only going to give them 2 songs that were barely promoted. Like, it just made no sense. But the songs that they did give us were good, and I wish they had promoted it more. Next up is Viva's, or I cannot, BIBI. It's the 3 G-Friend members. Unfortunately, none of their music has been my type. I do, however, like, I'm blanking on her name. One of the soloists that came out of the group. I liked her song. I think it was called Play. Maybe Play or something. I don't know. I really like her solo work. This is looking like another group. Is it Wonder Girls? No, there's Wonder Girls. I just seen a WG. We'll have to come back to that one. Weekly. Hold on just a second. I like some of their music. I'm really disappointed in their company because, they had that really big break with the, what was it, After School song. And then I feel like it was kind of like how Pentagon had Shine, and it like blew up, and then Cube didn't see that as an opportunity for them to release more stuff and eat up all that money and fame that they were getting from that. Like, they should have released probably a song shortly after that, or I don't know. I feel like Weekly's company did not, succeed in, profiting off of that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know, I felt like it was kind of stupid, and then they entirely switched the concept, so that also made no sense. Felt like they kind of purposely, cut them off from getting any bigger than what they were, or could have been. Next up is Wiki Meki, or Weki Meki. Give me a second, again, this list is crazy. Because they were probably potentials for alts, however, Fantagio has always kind of slept on them, so unfortunately they're going into, I like some of their music. Oh my god, this is another one that I have no idea, but we're going to move on to Wonder Girls. They were before my time. I only know, I think it's I'm So Lonely by them. However, I really like Sunmi, or Sunmi, I think it's Sunmi's solo work a lot. So if it was just her, she would be up into the all categories. Next up is UA. I'm going to put them into Don't Know Them, even though I do know a couple of their songs and I do like them. Here's Alice, aka Elris. Again, I'm kind of confused why both of them are still on here. because they're technically the same group. Hold on. I like some of their music. If I can get them up there. There we go. Next up is Classy. Again, give me a second. They are newly debuted, but I do really like some of their music. CSR? I have no idea who they are. I don't even know if I don't know if I've heard a song by them. Next up is 50/50. Give me a second. I really like their song Loving Me, and I know that Cupid's kind of their most popular song right now. It was good as well. One of my good friends is obsessed with that song. Iris. I also feel like this is like, it's either a band or a group that has a member from maybe Neon Punch in it. I don't know. I don't know them. I'm just gonna say that. Lapillus. Going into, I like some of their music. Limelight. Are they disbanded? I'm gonna put them into, I don't know them though. Oh my gosh, Mimi Rose. Give me a second again. I'm so sorry, guys. I like some of their music. They had the potential to move up to I Stand Them, however, because I really liked what they've released so far. New Jeans is going up into, I'm actually going to put them into I Stand Them, I think, because I've really liked their uniqueness and their songs. And actually, I might move the Seraphim up there as well, because, yeah, just because I think their music's really good. And I do think that their B-sides are also really good. I think I should rethink some of these. Sorry for just breathing horribly into that. Yeah, we're just gonna keep it like that. Niziu, that's JYP's Japanese group, I believe. I have heard, I think, all of their songs that they released. However, I've only really liked one, and I could not tell you the name, so I'm going to put them into Don't Know Them. And I'm going to pause for a few seconds because I have no idea what these last four groups are, so please give me just a moment. Okay, I honestly could not find, if I could read Korean, I could probably tell you what this group is, but I know that's hey. Anyways, this is We Girls. I don't know them very well. I did check them out. This is WJSN or Cosmic Girls. If you give me just a second, they're going into the I like some of their music. And if you give me just a second, I will have the results for the other three. Okay, this one makes me really stupid. It's hashtag. I don't know them though, so that might be why I should feel a little less stupid. But it literally has a hashtag right there, so I guess I should have known. This one is Ivy, or IB, IBI. I never heard of them before. And then Triple S. Hold on just a second. I putting them into I like some of their music. And therefore that ends this tier group ranking for girl groups. I'll scroll to the top so you can see my alts are Cherry Bullet, Everglow, G-Idol or Idol or Yoja Idol, whichever you prefer, Pixie, Purple Kiss, and Red Velvet. I stand Dreamcatcher, EXID, IVE, Oh My Girl, New Jeans, Le Seraphim. I like all of these groups. I'm not going to go through all of them. Disbanded but not forgotten. I would like to note that CLC would be a group that would be up into the alt category. Bugaboo would probably be bordering between I Stand Them and alt category. Bandit would also be right there with them. Hinapia would also probably be up into I Stand Them. Gugudan would also be I Stand Them. Eyes1 would be probably alt. Prison would probably be an alt by now. And then we have the Don't Know Them. Of course, I'm not going to read through all of these again, and not my type. And I'd like to thank you guys for all supporting this tier list video series for both the boy groups and the girl groups. If you have any suggestions on what I should do next, I'm open to other videos. But yes, thank you for being patient with me getting this stuff out. Also, my YouTuber friend, K-Pop Caffeinated, or KC as I've referred to them in my videos before, is making their own boy group tier list version, so please go check their channel out for their version of the boy groups. With that being said though, thank you guys for watching, and I can't appreciate all the support. Thank you. Bye. You give me the right move.